to take, no matter when the time of the goal was, because of the performance. But I've said this before, that the whole game was really based around 4 key points, which was us missing a penalty, them getting a penalty, the own goal, and the sending off. So, but immensely proud of the players in terms of the information they've took on board and the way they've worked this week. Unfortunately, just some things didn't go for us today. Yeah. But in terms of endeavour and effort, work ethic, organisation, willingness to do the right things, then I thought the players were excellent.
Yeah, in some ways it's the best performance of the season.
Yeah, I just said to the players, unfortunately our 2 best performances of the season is a 1-0 at home to defeat to Millwall and a 2-1 at home to Norwich. But what we have got to ensure is that the players take confidence from the good things that happened today, and if we could cut out the silly errors, i.e. we've conceded 5 goals in 5 games, 2 own goals, 2 penalties and a mistake. So on a positive, I know Jamal was excellent today, but on a positive, hopefully we can keep that going.
Okay, what were the lads like in there and what you said to them afterwards?
Devastated firstly because obviously they wanted to do it for the manager, because they're well aware of his Norfolk and Norwich connections, and nothing would have given us more pleasure than to turn the laptop round and put the projector on in the dressing room and him celebrate with them, and we asked them, the players, to do it for him. So they're devastated, but not just because of that, because of the effort that they've put in and come away with nothing. So we've got to try and stay upbeat and ensure that the players take confidence from it. But it's a monumental effort for no points.
Yeah. It's 3 goals in 3 games now we've conceded in stoppage time. Do you worry that might become a psychological thing?
Not really, because I think today's different in terms of the 10 men. I think I'm not saying it would or wouldn't have happened. I just think that today's a bit of an anomaly with the whole 10 men and the way we had to defend in the end. No, I think before people start questioning the way that in terms of whether we're fit or organised, it's not that at all. In fairness, we were beating Birmingham and they're going to throw the kitchen sink at us. We were beating, who was the other one? Huddersfield, and they're going to throw the kitchen sink at you. So if you're winning games, invariably in the end you're open to the opposition creating opportunities, and we all know that the game's not 90 minutes anymore.
Okay, what do you make of the red card?
I'd have to see it again, but without saying too much, I think once your feet leave the floor, I think it's very difficult to argue against it. So I thought the way, in fairness, it was right in front of me, and it looked like 2 trains running towards each other. And having taken a part in training, sometimes I look how big and fit and athletic and strong they are, and then when 2 players run into each other like that, but if your feet leave the floor, I think in the current rules it's very difficult to argue against it.
Yeah, even with 10 men there were chances to win, weren't there? Crooks had a goal and Robbo had a goal.
Yeah, I thought we had the 2 best chances. Robbo hits the target, I think it's a goal. I don't think the keeper saves it. And then, on the contradictory to that, he had absolutely no idea how he saved the one from Crooksy. In fact, I think it actually deflected onto his shin, and I thought Crooksy struck it pretty well. So I thought arguably they were the 2 best chances after we went down to 10 men, and we probably had the better chances than they did. Like I say, a lot of things work towards us not winning the game today.
Yeah, I know you're not the kind of person who singles out plays particularly, but I thought Dan Borlas, when he first started playing that player, was excellent, and even better, Sean McDonald, who's showing what player he can be now after a poor first season, only through injury. Yeah,
I think in fairness to Sean, he's been probably arguably one of the most consistent performers so far this season. I thought again, Dan was creative. I thought him and Sean worked quite well together with the legs of Crooksy in front of him. And again, what the positive for me was that they listened and they did the right things, and the stuff that we'd worked on in training that they took on board. And I know that Dan's been chomping at the bit since the minute he walked back through the door to get back in the team. And he's had that opportunity today. And in fairness, I don't think anybody let themselves down today. I thought it was an excellent all-round team performance.
Okay, no warning today. How did you feel stepping up a notch?
Yeah, no, fine, because as far as I'm concerned, nothing really changed in terms of. I didn't step up to anything really. I just continued to do what I would normally do, with conversations with him that Andy Warrington had on the phone with him. So I'm extremely looking forward to him coming back on Wednesday. So not nothing. I didn't. I didn't turn up today thinking that I was manager. I wasn't. I was still assistant manager. He's still the manager, and even for today, his decisions were obviously vital. So it was no different to me, really.
How much part did he play? Did he get to speak to the players you were open to on Zoom?
No, it was a bit of an. We talked about it beforehand, and it was going to be like what happens if you get halfway through and it freezes and all that sort of stuff. So he'd spoken, I think, sent a video to each one of the players this morning. We did, but we FaceTimed him before the game when the teams were announced. We FaceTimed him at half time, and then at the end of the game. And my biggest regret is that we didn't get an opportunity to celebrate with him, and stick him up on the wall and let him celebrate with the players of beating, which I know is a massive game for him. So. But I think he can be extremely proud. I know he was, and he said it was even worse sat at home watching it. But I think he can be very proud of the players.
Yeah, you must feel a little bit sorry for Florian as well. I'm sure there'll be better days ahead for him in the Rotherham shirt. But you come on for your debut and give the penalty away at the end.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was unnecessary. He didn't know the player was behind him, obviously. But as soon as it happened, you're sort of thinking that's going to be a penalty. But it's a bit more easier to take if the lad's about to slot it in the back of the net and he has to make the tackle. I appreciate that, but I'm sure there will be better days ahead, and I hope that he doesn't get him down too much, and he accepts that there's some hard work to do. He hasn't played a lot of football recently, but I'm sure he'll probably not enjoy his weekend as much.
Okay, just a final one from me. No Joe Matic today. What's the reason behind it?
Yeah, he was having to self-isolate. So he is back in training on Monday.
Okay. Has he had coronavirus?
He's just back on Monday.
Okay. Thanks for your time.
Ritchie, the two clubs were obviously 2 divisions apart not so long ago. Do you think you'll take a lot of confidence from the fact that you did push them so hard? Yeah,
that's exactly what I just said to the players. I know there was a couple of new players, but in fairness, that was a Premiership team 6 months ago, and we were a League One team. So I believe if you were sat watching that and you just come down from Mars, you wouldn't look and think that there was 2 divisions between them 2 teams last year. So I think that's the positive we have to take. Although what I would say is that we have to learn from it and recognise that the vital parts of the game, i.e. the four things I've just talked about, are the difference at this level. You've got to be able to score your penalties, and that's I thought Freddie was excellent, but you've also got to obviously not give them away, and we've got to work on being at certain aspects of the defending. But I've been really pleased with that so far this season. That's the first time we've conceded 2 goals, I think, in a game. So. I don't think you'd have thought there was 2 divisions between the 2 teams 6 months ago.
Yeah. Do you think there's a belief amongst the lads then that they belong at this level? They've just got to tighten up on those little things that make a difference. Well,
I think that belief grows weekly. We said to the lads after the Millwall game, despite the fact we got beat, that's the top 10 Championship team last season. We've just competed with an ex-Premiership team, but we've come away with nothing. So. I think the confidence will grow, and for some of the players it's their first time in the Championship. So, people like Mikel and Jamie Lindsay, Crooks has only played half a season in it. So for some of the lads, Freddie's never played in it before. For some of the lads, they've never actually played at this level. So, they're not going to, take to it like that. But I'm hoping that they will have definitely taken confidence from today and go, right, wow, that's what it takes, because Norwich are an extremely good team, and I'm sure we'll be in the shake-up for the promotions at the end of the season. So. We've more than matched them, I think, and competed with them today.
And in that Millwall game, it was all about crosses. I think 38 crosses or whatever it was. Today with Barlaser in the side, you got a lot more threat down the middle as well. I mean, do you feel he just adds an extra dimension to it?
Well, I mean, in fairness, I thought all the players were creative today. We created opportunities in loads of different ways. A couple of set pieces, a couple of regains, a couple of counter attacks, and a couple of bits. I thought the goal that we could have scored from the right on the right hand side just before half time, where we kept it in the corner for a few seconds and played a couple of 1-2s and ended up with a cross, just shows that we are something a little bit different. I think sometimes we get a little bit of a wrong end of the stick, really, in terms of what we get labelled with. So, but obviously, we're having to play, not slightly different, but Chio has been a big loss for us. But but I don't think we're a one-trick pony. I think we're more than that, and I think that if you ask Norwich today, I think they've probably felt that there was threats coming from all sorts of different angles.